We think of them as cosy companions. Sales soared in the energy cost crisis. But what you're about to see may change your views on using hot water bottles.
I was screaming. Oh, I've never screamed like that in my life. While I was at the hospital, another lady came in with burns. And the nurse says, we get about 2 a week from hot water bottles.
The bottle that caused all this was more than 5 years old.
I was having nightmares about it happening to my kids or other kids. A lot of people use them for their pets. And if something happened like that to a child, there's no coming back from it.
New figures released exclusively to ITV News show serious burns from hot water bottles went from just over 500 annually to almost 1,000 as energy prices climbed. More than a third of the injuries affected children, and so far this year there have been around 18 incidents a week. This laboratory in Liverpool tests rubber hot water bottles, and they found that the older products get, the more likely there can be to split, with potentially dangerous consequences.
Rubber degrades by time. Rubber degrades by being subject to atmosphere, oxygen, heat, and light.
We asked him to compression test a rubber hot water bottle that's more than 6 years old and which was overfilled with water. The results interrupted our interview.
Well, the thing that
Our camera inside the test chamber caught the explosion. When hot water bottles do go wrong, very often it's because of the way they're being used. But as we've just seen, age can also be a really important factor. So you'd expect that information to be really clearly marked. Let's see. So, what have we got on here in terms of the marking? Have you any idea how to tell the age of your hot water bottle?
No.
Have a look.
So in the middle of here shows the year in which it was manufactured. Each of these 12 segments represent a month in which it was manufactured, and those 2 dots that you can see there will tell you even which week it was manufactured.
That is not clear.
So as the owner of 6 hot water bottles, you don't think this is clear enough?
No.
I wouldn't even know what that means. That is not clear at all, no.
The NHS made this video giving advice on the age of hot water bottles.
Hector doesn't have a very long lifespan. He only lives for about 2 years.
Despite that advice about a 2-year lifespan, we found some being sold by a variety of retailers that were already older than that. And this M&S PVC hot water bottle says replace after 5 years. When we raised it with them, the store said it will change that to 2 years, though it still insists they are safe for 5.
Some manufacturers are saying that the time starts from when it was first used, and there are other authorities that are saying from when it was manufactured. So it's actually really confusing.
And there's also an issue with the main published standards on hot water bottles.
Unfortunately, the standards were withdrawn last year. So what we are asking for is that the standards are reenacted, that they're looked at now.
After we started our investigation, the British Standards Institution has said it is now planning to reform its hot water bottles committee and review those guidelines. Meanwhile, this burns expert has some important tips on using yours.
Inspect it for cracks, inspect it for damage. Then I would boil a kettle, but leave it to stand for 4 or 5 minutes to take some of the heat out of it. Don't use boiling water. And ensure that you don't overfill it. Remove any excess air so that the fluid level comes up to the neck before putting the stopper in place.
It is a product we literally hold so close we hardly give it a second thought. But the rise in hot water bottle injuries is now changing all that. Chris Choi, ITV News.